I met Shane probably around the time he turned 18. I had found the first Bunkers EP at a local record store, and somebody recognized him, and this guy was just like, "Oh yeah, he lives down the street from me." I was like, "Well, I got to meet this dude because I want to make some music with him." I was, really into experimental stuff. But yeah, I would guess I met him when he was about 18, and just hung out with him from then on.
Nice. Yeah, I met Shane through a girl I was dating at the time. We all know who that is, but everything's fine. She's actually got two kids now. So and she doesn't look like she's aged a day. We're friends on Facebook. Yeah, she's yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? You go hold grudges and stuff like that. It was fun when Shane. It was fun to hold grudges when Shane was around, because he was just like, yeah, I'm down with that too. You know what I mean? Because you know how Shane was. He was if he liked you, you were like in. But if he didn't like you, there was something seriously fucking wrong with you. That, you know what I mean? And that coming from somebody like Shane to be like, if Shane don't like you, but I met him through the ex-girlfriend, and I was just like, the first time I saw him, I was just like, this guy's a character. And I always love characters. I always love like interesting looking people. You know what I mean? But did you guys have bands like in high school or anything, or when did the music start?
The music probably started immediately as soon as we started hanging out, man. We were both into weird experimental stuff, and he was really open-minded musically, So yeah, immediately we do that, and then we'd start recording as soon as possible. He had already had Facetious with Aaron, and then the Bunkers with, I think, a series of people, but it was all just him. I'm pretty sure it was all just him on the recording. And then, he had a couple of records just of his own. But yeah, man, like the music started immediately. But at the end of the day, like for all the music, this guy just became my best friend. Like this was the person I wanted to hang out with and spend all of my time with. Because he was just an interesting person with an interesting perspective, who just sort of didn't give a shit what people thought about him. In general, though, if he liked you, he definitely cared, and that was one thing, like you said about him. I wouldn't say so much he held a grudge, he was really fearful. This was a guy who disliked traffic so much he'd take 3 rights to avoid taking a left across it, So it just got to the point that I think that either he sensed that he enjoyed your company, or he sensed that, he always knew he wasn't the best to help. So that he didn't want to waste his time with somebody whose company he didn't enjoy. And if he enjoyed your company, he was up for basically
anything. This is, hang on a second here. I got to look at this science. This is, he's got music on Bandcamp still. So for those who are interested,
I think Danielle actually, I think, is the one who put all that up.
Oh, did she? Oh yeah. So Danielle
I'm
is
not sure.
Danielle is another friend of ours who knew Shane, and we all hung out in the days. Briefly for me, I came in around 2000. I was kind of an off and on resident of Columbus. But I always loved the Princess Theater, and I always loved hanging out with you guys and getting drunk and all these random references and stuff like that.
Well, you know, the crazy thing about him was that, like, as soon as he got a hold of the internet, and even before through the mail, he was active through the
tape trading scene. He knew all these people that had rarities. At one point, when I mean, we're old enough that when eBay was still relatively new and they'd let you sell basically anything, he was making his rent, and or not his rent, but his money and his bill money and everything off of selling this rarity of like this VHS tape of Kubrick rarities, like 2 hours of them, and he was selling them for like $250 or something. You know, he was so keyed into this underground of people like that, which is, you know, how he got the Manson tapes. Like some of the stuff he would show you when you showed up over there. You know, people in today obviously take the format we're on right now a little for granted, but if you're raised in it, that makes sense. But back then, it was mind-blowing for him to have, like, the Bob Crane body removal tape, you know, or all of the insane Hollywood bits of ephemera. You go through his house, and I wish that it was documented. His, like, that dress at the end of the hallway is the dress from Mama's Family. He didn't just have serial killers.
Damn thing. I hate that
Yeah,
fucking thing.
The shoes, man. Those were Liberace shoes, the ones that they actually showed up. My favorite crazy story, that real human skull that he bought off eBay back when you could do that. I come over one day, and he's straight up eating macaroni and cheese out of the skull cap. Like you just never knew what was going to happen when you showed up at his house.